Copyrighted 1976 by R.S. Macko. Side 1, about mantras and relaxation. Sounds, sounds, sounds. Mantras, mantras, mantras. What are these strange words that seem to have crept into the 20th century? The various schools of mysticism and yoga use mantras to help the student do anything from relax, become energetic, gain faith, determination, gain wisdom, emotional flow, or a deeper understanding of life, to obtaining peace, tranquility, and perhaps opening the doors of self-realization. A more comprehensive understanding of the whys of our life on the planet. We see bearded, barefoot, robed, mysterious beings dashing about, making mention of such things as initiation and secret words. A nation on the edge of their seat, taking serious analogy of a giggle that in the past would precipitate a polite horse laugh. Doctors swearing by all they hear that this is either great or a fake, depending on what side of the railroad tracks they were born. A nation almost hypnotically awed by what appears to be so new and unique and mysterious, when in fact meditation and mantras are and have been public domain. And mantras and meditation and concentration have been used as a dynamic tool for thousands of years throughout the East and Middle East. Let's just take a peek at what has been going on over the centuries. First, the concentration practices alone has given fantastic results to practitioners over thousands of years. We in the 20th century are becoming aware of its relaxing, tranquilizing effect on the nerves. Secondly, the mantra is said to be something like water is to a garden. It helps latent potential grow into creative and dynamic actualities in everyday life. Third, as these changes occur, we too become more relaxed, poised, confident, dynamic, or creative. We begin to outgrow a shell into a more universal-oriented being. Who and how were these mantras used? From the deep ascetics to the pragmatic doctor, engineers, housewife, factory worker, and so forth. Let us trace the spectrum of mantras back in time. From the Old Testament comes an unnoticed mystical hint. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and God was the Word. The Christian mystics, contemplating sound as a derivative of primordial energy, and the Hesychasts, Christian mystics of the 4th and 5th century, who used a mystical formulation of the beautiful Kyrie eleison to reach peace and tranquility and exalted states of consciousness. The Quran is filled with the names of the attributes of God, the 99 names which are repeated by the followers as a concentration of divine or cosmic expression. In the case of Sanskrit, it is said that this primitive language was born from imitating the sounds of nature, the howling of the wind, the roar of the fire, the thunder, water. Nature being the outer garment of the cosmos. Its very alphabet is said to be a mantra, revealing the song that was sounded in space when the world sprang into being. In our ecumenical world today, we would see the Upanishad teachings closely paralleled to the Old Testament. And the Sufi schools of mysticism, with their use of the mantra La ilaha illallah, with the general meaning, there is only one underlying reality. None exists save this. And this formula, properly used, is said to lead one to cosmic reality. And the Vedantas, with their pregnant mantra Tattvamasi, meaning that thou art. All things are a part of the underlying reality. And of course, Om, used by the Eastern schools. It is said to be the summation of sounds, equivalent to the Hu of the Sufis. He who enters the realization of Om is said to realize the primordial energy of the cosmos. It is called pranava, the study of the eternal. And the name Jesus, considered a very mantric name. Repeat it 10,000 times over a weekend and see what happens. Many have had a deep experience of realization with just that name. We held folk dances in the Cleveland area using mantras and chants from the great religions. The old and the young were getting high on sound. Sounds such as Shalom Aleichem in a prescribed manner, as Assalamu Alaikum, Kiri Ilason, Namu Amida Butsu. The kids and the adults commented they would spend $20 or $30 for an alcoholic high and usually end up sick and a bit depressed. But after 30 or 50 minutes of dancing with these mantras, they were high, really high, some for several days, just happy, full of peace and joy, and ready to go out and meet the rat race, and this time ready for it. I'll repeat some of these chants and mantras on the second part of this record. Again, the theme of this first record is to give you exposure. All of life is an experiment, and so it is with the use of mantras. There's no fixed formula for all beings. It's an experimental process. How to use the mantra. There are 5 basic ways that mantras are used. You can select the method most in harmony with your personality and your expression of life. First, however, to obtain the best effect of a mantra or use of a mantra, learn the meaning of the mantra and try to feel that quality or idea while you're repeating it. It is something like a tuning fork effect. If we hold 2 tuning forks together or near each other, the vibration of one will set the other in identical vibration. As you repeat the mantra, picture yourself like a tuning fork, vibrating to the cosmic sound or principle or idea. The concentration alone is magnificent for your nerves, hypertension, and just to relax. Repeat the mantra in a rhythm. Once every second or once every 2 seconds, find the rhythm that is comfortable for you and then continue on with it. It'll vary with each individual. Now, as to the 5 ways of using the mantra. First, repeat it aloud as a chant. For those who have difficulty with concentration, this is perhaps the easiest method. Side 2 of this record can be used as a helper when beginning, as we repeat one mantra for a 10-minute practice period, so you can use it every day to help you concentrate. The second way is to whisper the mantra very softly over the lips. Many prefer this method, who also dislike the sounds, yet find it difficult in concentrating and hearing their own voice. And this is many times more beneficial than the first method. The problem is to maintain the concentration. The third way, repeat the mantra mentally to yourself. Those people who do a great deal of concentration in their work in everyday life will find this more preferable, such as accountants, supervisors, college students, engineers, dentists, jewelers, tool and die makers, or anyone that requires a great deal of concentration in their work. The fourth way, while you're walking, you'll find that this will be quite relaxing and somewhat invigorating. It is good to pace the repetition of mantra either aloud or to yourself or on your lips with every right step, or with every inhalation or every second inhalation or every second right step. Establish a rhythm. The mantras that are best for the walking are Yahai or Hu, and I'll go over the correct pronunciation of these mantras on side 2. The fifth way, writing the mantra on a piece of paper. And this approach is used by many who enjoy the physical movement along with the visual concentration. Now, any of the above methods are excellent, and they've been used for thousands of years. throughout all the schools of yoga, mysticism, and meditation. There are thousands of mantras, and except for a few mantras that are withheld for the deep ascetics or sannyasins, most mantras are readily available to the public. There's no mystery. It is a matter of finding it. There are some groups that use the astrological method of earth, fire, air, water, and ether signs to assign mantras to each individual according to his or her zodiac sign. This information is also public domain. It's a matter of finding it and interpreting it. There are hundreds of general mantras that are helpful to everybody. The individual needs prevail. It's rather unfortunate that some misuse of this knowledge occurs. There are those who, for motives of wealth or power, would have you believe that mantras from them only would help you. Beware, for in most cases, you have someone trying to dominate or psych you up to dependence on them. The true teacher or guru puts no price on his gift. It's an act of love. As to the power received from receiving a mantra from some guru or great teacher, well, if it were given by someone the stature of Moses or Christ or Mohammed or Buddha, I would say yes, there is a special gift of magnetism. But when someone must hint or declare his eminence, he hasn't yet reached eminence. It is when other great teachers speak of his greatness that perhaps indeed greatness does exist. Now let us get directly into a few preliminary practices. First, if you are tense or unable to relax, this practice will help you to unwind. Do it before you go into the practice of the use of mantras. But first, let's take a look at postures. There are two general ways that you can sit during meditation. Some prefer to sit cross-legged on the floor. This is fine. I do it myself when I'm at home. Most people prefer to sit erect on a chair. And if you do this, or sitting on the floor, be certain of two things. First, that your spine is erect, most important. Then, that your feet are flat on the floor. Then put your hands in your lap. Then, before you begin to relax, go through a few breathing practices. Look at your lung as a balloon. And as you exhale, imagine yourself deflating this balloon, the lower, the middle, and then the upper lung. And as you inhale, as though you're inflating this balloon. Let's go through 2 or 3 practices here. Exhaling first, deflating the lower, then the center, and then the upper lung. Now inhaling, inflate that balloon now, all the way up. The center lung, now the top lung. Now as you exhale, sigh while you do this. Kind of just a complete release. Once more, inhaling in. Inflate that lower, center, and upper lung. Now exhaling, deflating the lower, center, and now the upper portion of the lung. One more time. And then exhaling with a sigh. The relaxing practice can also be done on the floor, laying on the floor, but if you do this, leave your arms laying out at about a 30-degree angle and your legs also at about a 30-degree angle. Now, this technique, if you're doing it sitting on the chair or laying down, is called the little people technique. And it's very effective, but you must remember that you're doing this to yourself, and do not follow me in my suggestion so much as do this to yourself. Now, first of all, be aware of the chair that you're sitting in, of your body, of the clothes that you're wearing, the shoes on your feet, your whole being, right where you're at. Now imagine your body is being a massive, complicated machine being operated by hundreds of little operators. And we're going to send them off on a coffee break. And as we do this, observe each part of your body relaxed. Now let's start at the extremities of the body. Start at the toes. And call those little operators away. Blow the whistle. Hey, coffee break. Time to leave. And then watch that, scan that part of your body. You do this to yourself. And watch that part of your body relaxed. And now your feet. Then your ankles. The calves. And the thighs and buttocks. Just scanning them. Uh-oh, one of them snuck back to the toe. Blow the whistle, get him back on his coffee break. Nice and relaxed. Watch the body relaxed. That's it. And then scan the nose and the throat and the neck and the shoulders and do the same thing to that part of your body. March them away to the stomach area and watch that big coffee break taking place and watch that body relax. You're doing it to yourself. And now the fingers and the hands and the arms, biceps and triceps. There they go, whistling their merry song, marching back for their coffee break. And there you are, observing every muscle, just relaxing. You did it to yourself. You can do it, do it. Just watch it, scan the whole thing. Now the shoulder, the back muscles, the stomach, marching them all off to a coffee break. And then observe the body relax. Uh-oh, one of them snuck back up into one of the fingers there. Blow your whistle and get him back on his coffee break. Just let him relax. And you take over. Now watch all the emotions surfacing as soon as you get relaxed from the subconscious. Just watch them. Watch them break through. Just observe them as though you were observing a movie. Let each emotion flow to completeness. Don't stop it. Just watch it. Be curious where they're all coming from. Watch them come out. But don't be drawn into the drama. Just watch it. Just be aware of all these emotions. What a cartoon, huh? Crazy, huh? Yeah. And then the thoughts. There they come. Oh, did I pay the rent? Oh, will the car need repaired? Need a loaf of bread. Need this, need that. Look at them surface. Just watch them. Watch all these thoughts go through their trip. Just keep observing them. Watch the whole thing. And as you watch it, you'll begin to realize that you aren't those thoughts. There's another part of your consciousness aware of all of these thoughts, which puts you in the driver's seat. See the whole body relax now. The mind and the emotions. Completely quiet and still. Okay, now observe the sounds around you. The floor cracking. The cars driving by. The horns honking. The clocks ticking away. The children's voices playing hide-and-go-seek and all their games. Begin to hear everything again. Become aware. Begin to observe your relaxed body and feel the revitalization within it now. And then begin to get yourself ready for the mantras. Okay, now open your eyes and look around. Look all around you. Feel the revitalization of the whole thing. All the alertness. Now we're ready to turn on to side 2 and practice the japa. Now when you do this practice in the future, don't use the tape or the record. Sit down and do it by yourself. Become self-reliant. Don't use this tape as a crutch. Because you have strength, you have to start using it. I recommend using this practice 10 minutes a day, twice a day. And if you do this for 2 or 3 weeks, you'll reach a point where you can almost relax at will. You can just walk into a room and just turn it all off. Copyrighted 1976 by R.S. Macko. Side 2, the practice of mantras. This part of the lesson is a typical class practice. Because of random sounds and noises and so forth, for most people, it has been helpful to repeat various mantras aloud in class. 10% found this repetition aloud distracting. If the record or the repetition distracts you, learn the basic mantra, the rhythm to use, then select one of the 5 methods outlined on side 1 and proceed by yourself. For that matter, use the record as long as it helps you. When your concentration is adequate, go on by yourself. Build your own muscles. First, a definition of some of the mantras we use. These definitions are very basic, and they're from the various traditions or philosophies. No one in particular will dominate. The first, Hu, spelled H-U. It means the cosmic sound. We'll go into the pronunciation during the practice session. Pushkaraksha, which means joy or happiness or bliss. Hum, which is the mantra of the heart. Allahu, the eternal sound is the cosmic expression. Shalom, or Shanti, or Salam, peace and tranquility. Hai, spelled Hayy, the cosmic life force. Rahman Rahim, giving and receiving of understanding and friendship and brotherhood. Ishtar, cosmic love or the cohesive force of life. Ishkala Ma'budlallah, the one reality is the subject, is the object, is the attraction between both. Now this will give you plenty to experiment with or begin with. And so from here we'll go into the use of the mantra. From experience, most people in our classes find it helpful to turn their minds momentarily away from life's drama by repeating some of the mantric chants from all the great philosophy and cultures. We use these same mantras and chants in the folk dances that were mentioned on side 1. If they help you, then use them. Many of the students use the Buddhist mantra to calm themselves in the middle of a traffic jam. After 4 or 5 minutes of repetition, their pleasant, relaxed smile could watch the 5 o'clock tiger roar their profanities of impatience. Yes, self-control in action. So we begin there. Okay, now spine erect. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Now if you're kind of dragging and really ready to lay down and go to sleep and don't want to, repeat this about 35 or 40 times very fast, something like this, and see what happens. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Now from the Hebrew tradition, Shalom Alahim, Shalom Alahim, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alahim, Shalom Alahim, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alahim, Shalom Alahim, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alahim, Shalom Alahim, Shalom, Shalom. And from the Islamic, Assalamu alaikum, walaikum assalam. 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 Another one that will certainly pick you up, and they really enjoy at the dance, is Subhana, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Subhana, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Now, if you have a introverted personality, I do recommend during your walking mantra to use that Allahu Akbar, and you do that for 3 or 4 weeks and watch what happens to your expression in life. And from the Christian tradition, Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison. And from the Sufi tradition, La ilaha illallahu, 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 La ilaha illallahu. And from the East, in the Middle East tradition, Ishkala ma'bud lala, 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 Ishkala ma'bud lala. And then just prior to the meditation, a very relaxing mantra and practice, a Buddhist practice. And this is the one I mentioned using before or during a traffic jam. And just repeat it with any tone. Don't try and harmonize. Just keep repeating it. Namu Amida Butsu. 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 And then before we get into the primary concentration or the primary mantra that we use practice on, there are several other mantras that we use which really tune up the consciousness. And the first one is Om, and it's pronounced as you would pronounce home, except leave the H off. And so we'll go through several repetitions of this mantra, and as you repeat the O portion, focus your concentration at the throat, and the portion with your concentration at the top of the head. It's an Om, 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 Om. And then the second one that we do is the mantra Hu, H-U. It's pronounced with as though you were whistling the sound. There'll be a buzzing sound coming out of the lips. You'll have to purse your lips together to pronounce it correctly. It's something like this. You focus the sound at the roof of the mouth, and then let the sound buzz out of the lips, pulling the lips together the same as when you whistle. Let's repeat it a few times. Aru, 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 aru. Another one that you can use, which is really gives you quite a high while you're walking, and I'll just repeat it a few times for you. Yahai, Yahai. That's spelled H-A-Y-Y. Yahai, 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 Yahai. Just like the American says hi. The same word, the same sound. It may be why the sound's so invigorating, so lifting. Yahai, Yahai, Yahai. And then another one that you can use while you're walking, repeating it to yourself or aloud. Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim, Ir-Rahman, Ir-Rahim. The main mantra to practice is Allahu, and I've already explained the pronunciation of Hu, with the first part, pronounce the ah deep in the heart region. So what it would be is this, and we'll continue on through the practice of the mantra. Now try and feel this sound vibrating throughout your body, as though your entire body was, every molecule were vibrating to the sound. Allahu, 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 Allahu. Now continue repeating the mantra to yourself, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose to a count of 5 Allahus. Breathing in through the nose, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Exhaling, keeping your concentration up, Allahu, 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 Allahu. In through the nose again, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Exhaling through the nose again, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Now in through the nose and out through the mouth, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Now exhaling through the mouth, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Now breathing again in through the nose, Allahu, 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 Allahu. And out through the mouth, Allahu, 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 Allahu. And once more in through the nose, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Now out through the mouth, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Now in through the mouth and out through the nose, Allahu, 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 Allahu. And out through the nose, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Once more. In through the mouth, Allahu, 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 Allahu. And out through the nose, Allahu, 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 Allahu. Continuing aloud, Allahu, 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 Allahu.